5 stars on the road. Steve, let's start with number 1 wide receiver, Tristan Keys. He is committed to LSU, but he's been taking visits. Where do you expect Keys to pop up this weekend?
Tennessee. He told me he'll be in Knoxville this weekend. Now, he was supposed to be at Auburn earlier this week and canceled that visit. So he's expected at Tennessee this weekend. There were times where Tennessee has looked like the leader for Tristan Keys. He's committed to LSU. He has said it's going to take a lot to flip him from LSU. LSU's getting the official visit next weekend. But there is some buzz at Texas A&M and Miami are making things interesting for Tristan Keys. We'll see what that means for Tennessee coming out of this weekend.
Yeah, he's made a bunch of visits to Miami this offseason, so we'll keep an eye on that one. How about number 1 interior offensive lineman, Darius Gray? Made a midweek visit to Ohio State. He's got LSU this weekend. Where do you see this one going?
My on-3 RPM's on LSU, and I still like the Tigers. LSU's a program that offensive line is one of the focal points for this program as they put the finishing touches on a class that has a chance to finish number 1. They're currently sitting at number 2, but they're trending for offensive tackle Emmanuel Tucker, who's going to announce his college commitment on the On3 YouTube channel at 5 p.m. today. Hit like and subscribe. Tune into his announcement. I like where LSU stands there. And then they're in the thick of this one for Darius Gray. I think they're the leader, trying to hold off the likes of South Carolina, Clemson, Ohio State, Tennessee for Darius Gray, but a big official visit. And then Bryson Cooley's also visiting LSU this weekend. He's an offensive lineman from Mississippi that I think LSU's in great position for. Him and Zayden Krempin out of the Lone Star State. So going to be a special offensive line class for LSU. Who could they land? Manny Iannaccio. He's at Penn State this weekend, Josh. I know you were about to ask me about him, but it's the perfect segue into Iannaccio, who's taking his official visit to Penn State this weekend. LSU and Oregon are the top 2. Going to be at Oregon next weekend for his official visit, but LSU gave him a great OV 2 weekends ago. Penn State's a program he's always had a keen eye on. I think they got to make up ground on the Ducks and the Tigers. But he'll be on campus at Penn State this weekend. But LSU, they're a program to watch with Iannaccio as well.
All right, let's move on to Tyler Atkinson. We talk about him so much on this channel. Number 1 linebacker out of the state of Georgia. Where's he going to be this weekend?
Well, Atkinson is coming off a terrific official visit to Oregon, got to spend more time with Dan Lanning. Tosh Lupoy and that staff loves their defensive mindset and the way they develop players. Oregon is a major player for Tyler Atkinson. So is Ohio State. Would not be surprised if we see him schedule an official visit to Columbus on June 20th. He's already been there several times. They've been one of the favorites, but so's Auburn. Maybe he's on the plains next week sometime as well for an official visit, but he's already been to Clemson, and now he's at Georgia this weekend. Georgia's been the perceived favorite for much of Tyler Atkinson's process. NIL is certainly a factor in this recruitment, but Georgia, the way that they've developed linebackers, the way they play defense, the culture, the history, the stage they play on. He's been on campus numerous times. This is a big official visit. We'll see where Georgia stands coming out of it. I've liked Georgia the majority of this process for Tyler Atkinson, but Ohio State, Auburn, Clemson, Oregon, all giving him plenty to think about as well.
Yeah, giving me a lot to think about because I got no clue where Tyler Atkinson's going to go. Speaking of visits, Brandon Arrington has been racking up the frequent flyer miles this offseason, and he's going to be on the move again. Where's he going to be this weekend?
He's going to be at Alabama. I think Texas A&M leads. He's coming off a good trip to Oregon. They're one of the front runners in this recruitment as well. Alabama's got to make a move on the Ducks and the Aggies this weekend. 1 5-star. I don't think the Aggies are 1 5-star. I don't think the Crimson Tide have to make a move for, though, is Jyra Edwards logged in on 3 RPM in favor of Alabama this week, coming out of his official visit last weekend to Tuscaloosa. Auburn, Georgia, Alabama, the top 3 there. I like where Alabama stands.